On today's special Easter Bank Holiday Weekend edition of Into Your Head, number 672, Forest Philosophy, shopping on soap opera sets, how organised religion has influenced maths, Manny the mailman's Eggs Benedict, the mailman in Cheers, standard HD television, being disturbed by ducks on Boston Common, and lots more. Cats walk into a television shop. One of the cats goes straight up to the television shop counter and says, "Hello, can I have a couple of pints of milk, please?" And the man behind the counter says, "Oh, this isn't a real shop. This is a television shop. We're on the set of the British soap opera Coronation Street." And the cat says, "Well, what's it doing here in Ireland?" And the man behind the counter says, "It's not in Ireland. It's just that the story is being told from Ireland. You're not in Ireland. You're in a fictional England. You're in a fictional, there is a fictional TV shop set based on a real one that probably does exist somewhere, but this is a fictional one set in England, and you're a fictional cat. So you're probably feeling a bit low now that you've learned that you're not even real. You're like one of those, you're like that time they had the episode of Star Trek The Next Generation where they had the fella in the hologram thing, and he thought he was real, and he tried to get out into the real world and get a real life, but it all ended in tears, tears of a clown when there's no one around." That's a song, "The Tears of the Clown when there's no one around." The tears of a clown when there's no one around. The idea being that the tears of a clown are like the tree that falls in the wood when no one's there to witness it, or the bear that shits in the wood but no one seems to know whether it does or not, and they question it, and whether the Pope is Catholic. I don't know any answers to any of these questions. I'm trying to tell a story here about a cat who walks into a shop, but no, you're too busy questioning life. The world doesn't revolve around what happens in a forest anyway. A forest isn't a place. A forest is just trees. It's a load of trees. The forest doesn't exist. What is a forest? It's not the space between the trees. It's not the trees themselves. Forest is just a statement. It's a concept saying that there's a collection of trees over there. The trees would exist without the forest. The space between the trees would exist without the forest. I know we're getting a bit philosophical here, but suffice to say, people get so busy worrying about whether someone is there to see the tree fall, they forget that the forest doesn't exist at all. Regardless of whether you're there or not, a forest is just a concept, just as energy is just a measurement. There's no such thing as energy. People say, "Oh, I'm feeling some energy is coming from the astrophysics." I was listening to Joe Rogan a lot recently. I don't know if it shows. Anyway, we have a lot to get on with today. Items that need to be attended to, issues that need to be addressed, topics. Topics. We've got lots and lots of topics. We're positively booming to the seams with topics. We've got topics coming out of this. What's this? It's a USB splitter. A USB 5 object splitter, unused, not in current use at the moment. Possibly because I think if I remember rightly, it's broken. But it's possible that I don't remember rightly, which would maybe explain why I didn't discard it. It's still here. Not that I had any intention of attempting to repair it. I don't repair things. There's more to life than once something is broken, it's broken. You get a new one. You advance humanity and get the new version. If your phone from the year ago is broken. You don't go and get it repaired, you get the next one. Because otherwise you're holding humanity back. You might as well be one of these people who refuses to get HD television, and you sit there with your old-fashioned analog, non-HD, whatever. I know you foreigners get confused about this. You think HD means digital. No, digital is a different thing. You had digital television, then you had HD television, and you can have digital and not have HD. This is the case in my house. I have digital television but not HD. But that's not to say that I don't have HD for what you foreigners think HD means digital. It doesn't, so don't worry, I'm not holding back the species that much. Just haven't stumped up to see frigging Toy Story 4 in HD rather than SD, or whatever you call it, normal dimensional. I want to see things like they normally are, not in high quality. I want to see them in normal. I want Toy Story to look realistic. I want to see what the cowboy and the other fella in the hat and the other fella with the space helmet on him look like in real life. I don't want to see what do you call it? I don't want it to be like when you look up one of them magazines and all the women are being touched up with their photoshopping and all to make them look better. No, I want to see the real the warts and all version of these Toy Story characters. I wanted to be as that's the whole point. We spent the last 20 years developing these fancy modern day animations to look as realistic as possible, and now we want to make them look we want to fake them, make them look unrealistically HD. People in real life aren't HD. Well, not through my eyes anyway, although admittedly my eyes don't work properly. I have poor vision, so I don't see people in HD. Even if I had proper vision, I wouldn't see them in frigging HD. I see them in normal D, not even SD. It's a standard SD. It's not standard anymore if the standard is moving to HD. It should be called ND for normal D. It's just normal D. That most people aren't normal anymore. They insist on having HD, but that's not the same as standard. HD is the standard D now, so we have to start calling HD SD now. That's going to cause even more confusion. It's bad enough we have to get advertisements on the television telling old people that they have to get a new box for their television when they close down the analog stations as they did earlier this year. Now we have to explain that HD is now the standard, so it's standard definition. HD is bollocks. I don't know how we're going to deal with it. Suffice to say, two further cats walk into a real shop. One of the cats goes straight up to the shop counter and says, "Hello, can I have a couple of pints of your finest full-fat milk, please?" And the man behind the counter says, "Certainly, young cat, it's over there in the fridge, help yourself." And the cat says, "I don't want to help myself. Why would I? This isn't a frigging self-help group, this is a frigging shop, an old-fashioned shop with a counter, and I want to be served like in the old days. Life is too short to be traipsing around some supermarket with a basket in hand, finding where everything is as if I'm some frigging warehouse operative who's paying for the privilege of working there. No, give me a couple of pints of milk, please, and we'll say no more about it." And the man behind the shop says, "You're very cocky for a cat, aren't you?" And the cat says, "Well, excuse me for having a bit of confidence in myself and standing up for my rights as an individual. Notice I didn't say my rights as a human being, which I could have accidentally said out of habit, but I didn't, which is very clever of me. I'm up and awake and alert today. It's absolutely fantastic." And the man behind the counter says, "Right, 2 pints of milk, there you go." And the cat says, "Thank you very much. How much will that be?" And the man says, "When?" And the cat says, "Well, now when I'm paying." And the man says, "Oh, now it'll be exactly the price that's on the fridge there. It's on the tag on the fridge." I'll just scan it in now, and that'll put the total through to this machine. And the cat says, and how much will it be 2 years from now? And the man says, well, that's not really relevant because it'll have gone off by then. And the cat says, well, excuse me for taking inflation into account and trying to decide when's the best time to purchase milk. That's what you people do with property, isn't it? Why can't I do it with milk? And the man says, because that's totally fucking ridiculous. And the cat says, who are you to judge? And the man says, I'm a shop operator. I know a bit about these sort of things. I also did economics in college. And the cat says, well, I'm a cat. I drink milk. And the man says, cats aren't supposed to drink milk. Cats are lactose intolerant. They're supposed to, well, there is special formulated milk available for cats. And there's, of course, the milk from their mothers, but they're not supposed to drink the sort of milk that we sell for humans in shops. And the cat says, well, why are you giving it to me then? And the man says, because you asked me for it. And the cat says, well, why didn't you say something? And the man says, I did say something. And the cat says, no, but why didn't you say something regarding the impropriety of supplying milk to a cat that's designed for humans that they may well make me sick? And the man says, relax, it'll just give you the runs. It'll just mess up your owner's house a bit. Frankly, they deserve it if they have you running around rampant, annoying shopkeepers like me. And the cat says, oh, I'm very sorry I'm annoying you. I'm a customer. I'm trying to give you money for something. And the man says, I haven't seen any money yet. Where is it? And the cat says, just scan me and it'll be taken out of my veterinary account. If you scan the chip, the ID chip that's in my head, that'll scan me, if I understand correctly, and it'll be charged via my vet to my owners. And the man says, I don't think that's right. And the cat says, you're damn right it's not right. I don't want some fucking chip implanted in my head. In my day, a collar with a tag on it was sufficient. And the man behind the counter says, where are we going with this? And the cat says, I don't know. Maybe it's time to move on. Now, I know what you're thinking there. You're thinking, oh, this must be the Easter Bank Holiday Special Edition of Into Your Head. Well, it may well be. Well, it remains to be seen. Hasn't been any mention of Easter yet, although there's still plenty of time to go. Now, we could still change that if we wanted to. I'd quite like to mention Easter at some point, but I'm not going to force it. I'm not going to force Easter down my own throat. No, if it comes up in conversation, then it'll come up in conversation. If it doesn't come up in conversation, then it won't. And since this is a one-man conversation, the chances of it coming up are automatically 50% smaller than the chances of it coming up in a normal conversation with two people. So I suppose, so don't shoot the messenger if the message doesn't turn up. Anyway, monkey nuts, that's what they call them. They call them big, steaming, shit-eating, piss-piling monkey. Monkey filling. Do monkeys eat monkey nuts? I wonder indeed. Do monkeys eat? I wonder both indeed and in fiction, because I'm fictionally wondering here. In fact, I'm not wondering indeed. I'm not wondering really at all. I'm just fictionally wondering. I'm pretending to wonder, so there's no deed. Indeed means really, so it's not. I'm not really wondering. I'm pretending to wonder just for the purpose of, for the sake of argument. Not that I'm arguing. Who do I argue with here? There's no one here to argue with except you, the listener, and I don't want to argue with you, the listener, because that would be what you call logistically difficult, given that this isn't a live program. If you want to figure out how to have an argument, I'm sure we get. Oh, now that reminds me, some listener correspondence left over from yesterday came in too. Oh yes, Manny the mailman from New Jersey wants a two living popes walk into a bar story, presumably for balance, because I think I did a two deceased pontiffs walked into a bar story. Was it two retired? Well, I don't know. Well, Manny, I'll watch out for stories about living popes walking into a bar. Now I understand. It was in the news yesterday. Two living popes went for lunch together the other day. The new pope and the retired one, they went for lunch together. Presumably they had an egg sandwich. Eggs Benedict. It was probably a joke. Your man probably said, "Oh, hello, Benedict. Do you want some eggs? Do you want some eggs, Benedict?" And Benedict says, "I've heard that one many times before." And then Manny, the mailman who sent this request in, says, "I've heard that one too, the Manny thing. Do you get that many times, Manny?" And he's probably, if he was here, he'd punch me in the face, I'm sure. I imagine Manny the mailman, a long time listener, I imagine him to be very like the mailman in the sitcom Cheers. There's a mailman in the sitcom Cheers, hence me making reference to him. Again, he's fictional, but he's real to me. He's real to all of us. And he's who, because I've never met Manny the mailman, I have to put a face to the name, so I put the face of the man from Cheers, the mailman fella. Even though I've seen pictures of Manny, I could probably just put the picture of his face behind his, in front of him when I'm thinking of him. But no, I prefer a real moving image, so I use the moving image from the man from Cheers. I go into Facebook and I see Manny the mailman has said something in writing. I think, now let me conjure up my image of the mailman from, what's he called? I forget his name. Your man the mailman. Hold on, let's look this up. The mailman from Cheers. Mailman Cheers sitcom. Let's see if we can find out. Cliff Craven. Here we go. Cliff Craven. There's a picture. Oh, Christ, he's one ugly bastard. Manny, I apologise. Although now this is a picture of the actor in recent years. There's another picture of him in the Cheers years, and he looks a bit better. But no, Manny, I apologise for associating your image in my brain with this fella. Oh, I'm sure you're a lot more easier on the eye than this. Oh, look, there's a thing about a lawsuit. In 1993, what's his face and George Wendt filed lawsuit on blah blah blah, infringing copyrights, violating personality rights. Robotic toys. They produced robotic toys based on Cliff and Norm from Cheers, and they sued the arses off them. I wonder, did they succeed? Can't be arsed reading that next paragraph, but it looks like it does explain. Case resulted in an undisclosed settlement in 2001. It was all sorted out eventually. I don't want to have to worry about legal things when I'm watching a television program. It's bad enough trying to follow the story. I find it difficult to follow the stories of these television programs. You start off, you have some people sitting in the bar, and for one thing, you start watching that and you have to have a drink yourself. Just as when you're watching MasterChef, if they start making cakes, you think, Christ, I want a fucking cake now. It's the same with Cheers. So you have to have a drink. So 10 minutes into the program, you're half pissed and you can't follow the story at all, and you have the Manny the mailman going up to the bar and saying, hello, I thought I'd see a couple of cats here. And the barman saying, oh, that's a completely different thing. You're confusing the podcastual world with the sitcomular world. And this is an old sitcom. It's from back before even podcasts were invented. And I doubt there's very many. I've been to the location where Cheers is supposedly based in Boston. I didn't go in because there was a big queue. There was people queuing for a place on Boston Common. I forget what it's called. It's full of tourists queuing for lunch or wherever they go in for. So I just went up and had a look at them. I said, fuck that shit. I'm going into Boston Common instead now. And I have fond memories of lunches spent sitting in Boston Common, listening to foreign radio and being weirded out, because I used to go to a local supermarket salad bar and get a couple of hard-boiled cold eggs and a couple of rolls, and I'd put the eggs on the rolls, but I dropped some crumbs, and some ducks and whatever birds were there in Boston Common used to come up and eat some of the eggs, and that used to weird me out, I can tell you. Cannibalism by birds. No, didn't like it at all. Didn't like it one bit at all in any way. Anyway, on with the show.
Into your head.
you like extras and reruns? You probably do. Well, if you don't, you like extras and maybe you don't like reruns. Well, that's good, because the Into Your Head extras and reruns feed, a separate podcast, can be found in iTunes or at intoyourhead.com/extras. Has some short new bonus material, as well as loads of reruns from Into Your Head's 600 and something show history. So visit intoyourhead.com/extras or just search for Into Your Head in iTunes to find my other podcast feed. Absolutely fucking fantastic.
Into Your Head.
Support the podcastual arts at no cost to you, just by sending Neil money. Visit intoyourhead.com and click on the tip jar to make a once-off donation. intoyourhead.com.
If you would like to comment on any of the issues raised in this program, email studio@intoyourhead.com. Remember, we value the opinions of you, the humble and ignorant listener.
Matchstick cats. Matchstick cats. Matchstick cats. Matchstick cats and stuff.
Are you a cat? Or do you know somebody who might be? Then tell yourself about Matchstick Cats, Neil's webcomic. Brand new episodes at intoyourhead.com.
Matchstick cats and stuff. intoyourhead.com.
Two Manny the Mailmans walk into a Cheers fictional bar in Boston. One of the Manny the Mailmans goes straight up to the bar counter and says, "Hello, can I have a pint of your whatever Manny the Mailman drinks?" And the man behind the bar says, "Well, if you don't know what Manny the Mailman drinks, I suggest first of all you check your script, and I suggest second of all you check your email from the producer telling you where to turn up for filming, because this place here is just a facade. We just use the front of this building for the Cheers thing, and we have a studio somewhere else for the interior." And Manny the Mailman says, "Oh, I thought this was a real bar where Cheers were set. I came in for a drink." And the man says, "Oh, sorry about that. I'll get you the non-fictional staff member now. Hold on a second." And the waiter turns up and says, "Hello, can I help you, sir?" And the Manny the Mailman says, "Yes, I'd like a pint of your finest whatever a Manny the Mailman drinks." And the man says, "Oh, I'm sorry, it isn't that type of bar. Although this is the facade of the bar in the sitcom Cheers, it's actually a restaurant." And they've just skipped the queue, by the way. There's a queue of 30 tourists standing outside the door there. And not that I've any problem with it, but you've just skipped the queue and they may be a bit annoyed at you when you go out. Just to let you know. And the Manny the Mailman says, "Oh, sorry about that." And the barman says, "Oh, think nothing of it. Not a problem to me. Couldn't care less. It's just letting you know, just in case causes you any embarrassment." And the Manny the Mailman says, "Well, it wouldn't have caused me any embarrassment if you hadn't mentioned it, but now I'm embarrassed." And the barman says, "Well, whose fault is that?" And the Manny the Mailman says, I don't know. This place is beginning to weird me out a bit, though. I think I'll go out into Boston Common and eat an egg instead." And the barman says, "Well, you'll have to go all the way across the common and right down past Copley Square to where that supermarket is to get the eggs. That's like half an hour walk. It's not like you're passing there on your way, like your man used to when he spent his summers in Boston." And the Manny the Mailman says, "I'm from these parts. Well, I'm from the eastern seaboard of America. I'm sure I can find another supermarket or convenience store around here, or I'll go up somewhere else that sells eggs." And the barman says, "Oh, fair enough. I forgot you're not a tourist. You know what you're doing here." And the Manny the Mailman says, I certainly do. And a great night is had by all." Now, it's funny you should mention the situation comedy Cheers, because the other night I was watching a thing with your man who used to play Fraser Crane in Cheers, and he used to play Fraser Crane in Frasier as well. He was playing a Chicago mayor in some crap that I was watching. I got halfway halfway through and I had enough. I said, fuck this for a lot. You may well have played Fraser Crane in Cheers, and you may well have played Fraser Crane in Fraser, which indeed you did on both counts. There's no may well about it. You did. You fucking did. You can be damn sure it's a well-known fact. Now, normally I don't like well-known facts, because well-known facts is just something people add to something to say, oh, that's a well-known fact, and you're supposed to just take it as read. But in this case, these are well-known facts. So let's not get bogged down in whether or not something is well-known. It's known by me. It may not be known by you, but it's known by me. I know it. Doesn't matter whether you know it. Doesn't change its trueness or otherwise. I know it. It's not that I think it, it's that I know it. So it's true. It doesn't matter therefore whether what you know about it. I can impart my knowledge onto you, and now you know. Or maybe you don't. That's the funny thing about it. I can know something and tell it to you, but it doesn't mean you know it. You hear it, well, you don't know whether you know it, because you haven't verified it as I have to your satisfaction necessarily. So knowing something is not something. That's why education doesn't work. I can know something and tell it to you in, say for example, in the classroom. If I'm the teacher and I know something and I tell it to you, doesn't automatically follow that you now know it. You've just heard it. You haven't decided whether you know it yet. It's voluntary. You can say, oh, I don't know that. You may say that, but I don't know it. That's why we have a problem with the arrogance of the younger generation. You tell them something that you know, and they say, oh, I don't know that. Feck off. And you say, I'm trying to educate you here. And they say, I don't want to be educated. I want to make up my own mind about things. And you'll say, well, in order to make your own mind up about things, you have to be educated about them first. And they'll say, if you're educating me about something, that's brainwashing me, making me know stuff that I don't yet know. That's not making up my own mind. I want to make up my own mind about these things. Maths, for example. I'll decide whether or not 2 + 2 = 4. It's not for you to dictate to me what these numbers can and can't amount to. I'll form my own views on these. And I blame the Catholic Church for that. Anyway, happy Easter.